everybody.
What up? What up?
My name is Tim Daniel. His name is Ben Brown, and welcome to this week's edition of Late Night Reds, brought to you by the Riverfront, a part of the Blue Wire Media Network. I am super happy to be back with you guys. Super excited to be back. I had an excellent time. I'm trying to take myself back, actually still wearing my Disney cruise attire.
There it is, baby.
Trying to take me back to the Bahamas because last week was awesome and I had such an amazing time. But I'm happy to be back with you guys, hanging out with you all. And of course, want to say a big thanks again to Jeff Carr for filling in last week. I know Ben was probably like, Tim, I don't think I need to work with you anymore, man. I think Jeff's the guy for now on.
Oh, shoot, you know better than that.
Jeff was great, and I thought you guys had a really fun show and really kind of said a lot of how everyone was feeling, especially after that Tampa series. So we're going to kind of go through a few things here. But I had to touch on one thing before we got started. Before Ben and I got on air, I was telling him this story, and you guys know I like to share a little bit of my life here on the show before we talk Reds baseball, because we got to talk nice things, right? We got to talk about some nice things. So today at church, my wife's very involved in our church. She's a deacon at our church, it's awesome. Like, I'm very proud of her. So we go there today, and today is the Sunday church cookout. And she asked me to go to the kitchen to help out, see if there's anything I need. I think I'm just gonna be lifting stuff. And as I told Ben, I have no grilling experience in my life. I ended up cooking burgers for the whole congregation today. And it's so Bob says, seeing as you and Jeff weren't even together, weren't seen together, do we really know that was Jeff? Thank you for keeping the joke alive. I love it. I know Jeff is a good fan of it too. But yeah, man, I ended up cooking 40 burgers today and I had never, my grill experience, as I told Ben, was I had a George Foreman when I was single.
I remember that.
So it was a big step up. Yeah. So I just thought that was really funny. And Ben told me this about, I told my wife that I need to get what's it called? The Blackstone. Yeah.
Blackstone, baby. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm now in the market. I think I'm world-class grill Tim now. So
hey, I'll tell you this, like I was telling you before, life before my Blackstone, it's not the same. I'm a fajita maker. I can do breakfast burritos. I do a little chicken and rice. There's a little bit of everything you can do on the Blackstone, dude. It's legit, and it's easy cleanup. It's nice. It's really nice to have.
Mr. Juan says Tim Daniel's manhood has leveled up. You're right. I hope is Branch in the chat tonight? Branch, are you here? Because I know this is up your alley as well, and so I need the insight. Late Night Reds tailgate on Ben. Yes,
let's do it, baby.
We can get it
Absolutely.
done. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think it's time. We're probably losing listeners for this, but do we guys want to talk about the Reds at this point? Like, we have the same conversation every Sunday now, right? Let's get to it. So they get squished by the Giants this week. Friday, obviously everyone knows what happens. They get a rain delay, and then Blake Snell pulls the Tom Browning and comes out of the rain delay and just mauls those guys down.
Yeah, man.
Just whatever. I did appreciate that Blake Snell was like, well, they can't say anything about me now. No more. Can't go in the 8th. Can't get to the 9th. No more no-hitter. Doesn't have a no-hitter. So shout out Blake Snell for that. Tip your hat for how good you were. But
yeah,
you were facing.
He was impressive. It was, if it weren't the Reds, it'd been really fun to watch because I do like Blake Snell.
Same.
Yeah, it was. As a Reds fan, it was disastrous. But
yeah,
I guess you got to see history.
I haven't been to 2 of the 3 no-hitters in that stadium. I was not at this one. So
yeah.
So there's that. Saturday, obviously, was the fun day of the series. There's always a fun day in these 3-game sets the Reds have. It's just the other 2. So they hit 4 homers. Tyler Stevenson with 2. Hunter Green, dude, again, 6 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts.
Yep.
Ben, the only runs he's given up since the first week of July were in the All-Star game. He's had 1 earned run in games that count. Unbelievable.
I mean, for me, and I think I said this in the chat, and this is just my humble opinion. I think you got to start putting him in the Cy Young talk. even though the Reds aren't great,
Yeah.
he has been really good. He's been an all-star. He's had an amazing July. He's starting to turn. I mean, he had an amazing August. I mean, already. So, I mean, he has to be in the talk for Cy Young. I mean, he's been phenomenal.
He has, man. It's just so fun to watch, and I've noticed he's that guy. He's that like we're playing on national TV and I get the ball. I got you.
Yeah.
He's like primetime football Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? When Joe Burrow's got a Sunday night game, you know he's gonna deliver.
Yep.
That's what he is. He's dude, yeah. Mr. Juan. Hunter Green definitely sold his soul to gain Noob moving on his fastball. Hey, best deal he could have made.
Yeah. I mean, like we've talked about this before, like he is just like it's just a different level, dude. Like he's learned how to pinch around guys. He's learned how to move his fastball in spots where it can't be hit. And honestly, we had talked about him bringing new pitches into this year, and those have been somewhat okay. But he's still a fastball pitcher. But he's just learning how to locate it better, and it's got some movement on it, and yeah, dude, he's just starting to master his craft, which is really cool.
Bob says, Mariners made a great commercial back in the day with Felix Hernandez as an alternate identity, Larry Bernandez. Hunter have an alternate identity. For some reason, when I read that, it just made me think of Andy from Parks and Rec, Burt Macklin, FBI.
Yeah. Yep.
Burt Macklin, FBI. Man, it's just been such a joy to watch, and yeah, everyone says it. There's so much of the comment I don't want to share them all because they're all in the right place. That contract's a steal, and that's looking better and better every start. So maybe you could just sign a second long-term contract. Maybe the Reds might be smart and do that sometime. Maybe.
I mean, hey, listen, you see who they put in our front office, so I'll just leave it at that.
Word. Then today they score the first 2 runs of the game. Another, we got Jeimer Candelario and Santiago Espinal, who's played really well of late.
Yes, he is, man. Yeah, he's been lights out.
Go back to back, and that's the only highlights because the Reds have proceeded to then give up 8 straight runs. Hey, while we're on the conversation of today, I don't know if this is going to turn to rant time with Ben, but if it does, I'm all for it.
Okay.
After the last time you did rant time with Ben, it was incredible. And I got a lot of texts about it, and a lot of people really appreciated it. Other podcasts reached out to me and said it was awesome. And it was great. So they were on the Roku today, and we've, there's this whole thing and the distribution rights and everything. Everyone's pissed off about it, myself included. Like, if you are someone who watches the 3 major sports, you're basically paying a cable bill to watch everything.
Yep.
So what is your take on this Roku Sunday experience now that Peacock doesn't have it anymore because Peacock's getting the NBA?
Yeah. I don't like I don't like sports in general being leveled to certain aspects where people can't watch stuff. Like, I don't
Agreed.
Like, I don't like that. Like even with the NBA or I'll say this, pushing things off to obscure things is kind of weird to me. Like Apple Baseball. Like, Apple Baseball is fine, but not everybody has Apple TV. So why would you do that to people that don't have Apple TV?
Right.
And I'm not saying that TV rights and all that stuff, and I know all that stuff is way more mumbo jumbo-ish than I could ever imagine. But leave it either to major cable or major networks, because that's where people have access to. Like, if I'm a baseball fan and I don't have Apple TV and my team plays 25 games on Apple TV, I'm pissed. Like, I don't have access to that. That's not fair to a person. And if I want Apple TV, then I gotta go to your thing and get a subscription. Like that's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. So I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of having those things on obscure networks or things where you got to have a subscription. I just don't think it's right for true fans, right? For true fans that want to watch their team every day in, day out. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Bob says right here, baseball's probably the worst at marketing
Absolutely,
games.
Bob.
Like,
yep.
For 1,000%.
1,000%. 1,000%.
So I've mentioned this. I'm currently using Fubo because it's the only way I can watch the Reds, and I hate it. It's the stupidest service. It's like the interface sucks. The format of it doesn't make any sense. Like my wife is like, "Where the hell do we get the stuff we DVR'd?"
Right. Yeah.
Like realistically, it's such a stupid formatted app.
Yeah.
And but it's the only way you can watch the Reds games. So I thought if I got the Bally Sports Plus thing where it's like $20 a month and you can stream the app even if you don't have the cable network, you can't watch the Reds on there.
Oh, you can't?
So no. So like that's why I have Fubo. Otherwise, I would just keep my YouTube TV and watch the Reds. But it's like so stupid. And you know, and it's like they're like trying to make sure you're not doing password sharing. And it's like,
and Bob brings up a good point. Baseball is a sport where you want more people to watch it. Like, it's a sport that needs that viewership. It needs that. It's not like your NFL where guys are like, you know, they're all in and it's the NFL, right? People are like, baseball is a sport it can lightweight go into obscurity. So why would you do that for true baseball people to not be able to watch baseball when your sport struggles with viewership?
I'm with you, dude. Look, I am not trying to insult you when I say this. I know you're one who roots for a team that plays in the Big Ten Conference. Watching the Olympics this week, how many damn times I've seen that Fall Out Boy Big Ten commercial?
I know. Yeah. With the 22 schools in the Big Ten, starting in Southern California. Oh, man.
I cannot wait.
That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. Don't get me on freaking college football and conference. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day.
Yeah, if only we had another channel here on the riverfront for that.
What a mess.
It is a mess. Speaking of messes, let's get back to the Reds because today was a total mess of a nightmare and a disaster. Like this whole season's been, and we're going to dive into a few different things to the show today that we're going to talk about. There is one positive conversation we're going to have today, which we normally have a lot of it, and I'm sorry that this team has broken us down so much, but Kerry said it earlier. This is a chance to really capitalize and gain some ground because the rest of the Central didn't do much this week. Frankie Montas got destroyed in his Brewers debut. Did not look good at all, and the rest of the teams didn't play well at all either. And so this was the Reds' chance, and today you have a lead, and I understand, you took the lead early, that everything can happen in a baseball game. But today was doo-doo, man. Just absolute doo-doo. Ellie's got an error today that, was another one, which was whatever. I'm not going to be mad at Ellie De La Cruz for stuff. But Matt, when Matt Chapman walked up and hit that homer to tie the game, I was like, all right, they lost. It was just had that vibe. And shout out John having to do the Roku game today, nationally broadcast, and like to keep like his biasm aside and just kind of call the game the way he's supposed to.
Yeah, that's really hard to do.
But that had to be brutal for him, man. That had to be brutal.
Yeah, I don't know. Carson Spires, I'm looking at his line. He went 5 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. For Carson Spires, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Like it's the back end where we're starting to fall apart a little bit. Like, Fernando Cruz has been not very good.
No.
Sam Moll's been kind of disappointed. Like there's just certain guys that you're kind of wanting to lean on, even with your young starters. And I'm not saying, he still gave up 3 runs, so he's still gonna get the loss anyway, but still keep it close. Like our bullpen was just disastrous. They've just been absolutely disastrous.
Yeah. Sydney says Cruz needs an IL, and he is one of those inflated ERA stints. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But dude, I don't know how many ways we can say that are disappointing. But it's just another one of those where Hunter looks great and everything else looks bad, and it's so frustrating. And I'm not talking about today, particularly. Just talking about the weekend. Look, Blake Snell's good enough. He's going to have one of those games, right? Like, it's just going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just so happen to catch him on that day.
Yeah, he's that good.
It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I'm frustrated the Reds look non-competitive in majority of those at-bats, but that goes also to who's in the lineup that day. How about Ty France, designated for assignment by the Mariners, batting cleanup for the Reds the week after? It's Mike Ford all over again, Ben. It's right-handed Mike Ford.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Bob said earlier, Joey Votto hit a bomb today for AAA Buffalo. I know, different conversation, but hey, maybe it would look better if he was hitting homers for the Cincinnati Reds on a major league team. Neither here nor there. Not what I'm getting at. But this team.
We can't find that guy at bats. Be quiet, Tim. We don't have at bats for that guy.
We can find Ty France at bats to hit cleanup.
At cleanup. Dude. What are we doing, Tim?
What are we doing? What are we doing, Ben?
What are we doing? What are we doing? They've cracked me. That's it.
They've broke us.
They broke us. What are we doing? We just said Ty France, who is designated for assignment, and just like clean up for our baseball team. Like
in a huge weekend series.
Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Unreal, man. Unreal.
Man.
Let's talk about funny things that other teams did, shockingly. Did you see? So obviously the Orioles traded with the Reds for Austin Slater. Mm-hmm. The Orioles got Austin Slater, put him on the big league roster, and sent down Heston Kjerstad, one of their top prospects.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like what?
Bizarre world, dude. Bizarre
also, a moment of silence for Austin Slater. Had a great Reds run.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough.
All right, that's good enough. Good.
Yeah, that was a good moment, right? So you want to talk about why we're broken, guys? We're going to dive into this. It's not just the fact that this team has been very irritating and heartbreaking and disappointing and sucks and it has nepotism promotions and terrible trade deadlines. As you know, since you're here with us tonight, obviously, every Sunday night at 9:00 Eastern, we go live to do this show. You want to see what the last 9 Sundays have looked like for the Cincinnati Reds?
Winless.
So their last Sunday win was on June 2nd when the Cubs came to town. Remember, they finished May and had a really nice start to June. And we were like, oh, they're turning the corner. This could be fun. No. Since then, they have losses on Sunday on June 9th to the Cubs, June 16th at Milwaukee, June 23rd to the Red Sox, June 30th at the Cardinals, July 7th to the Tigers. Remember, they got swept that series after sweeping the Yankees.
Yep.
July 14th versus the Marlins, July 21st at the Nationals, July 28th at the Rays. By the way, Hunter Green, incredible in that game, like you and Jeff talked about last week. And then today, against the Giants. So now I ask, folks, as we know, since Late Night Reds has come over to the riverfront from our previous branch, we have been going live Sunday nights at 9:00 now for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Is this our fault? Is it our fault because we do a live Sunday night show, the best live Sunday night show that does a Reds podcast, by the way, that they are losing every Sunday? Is it us? Is it the U2 song? I just feel like I like every time they run out there on Sunday and it's like introducing your Cincinnati Reds, in the back of my head I hear how long till we sing this song? How long tonight?
Yeah, I can't take blame for that, man. I look at the roster moves and what we've done. Nah, I can't. We're not taking blame for this one. Nope, not doing it.
First off, thank you for cutting me off before I tried to match Bono's pitch. That was probably best for our listeners. But yeah, I don't know. I feel very blessed that we have this show. I feel very blessed that we have this awesome audience that we get every Sunday that hang out with us and just chop it up and get ready for the week. I say this every week. I'm really sorry that this team has let us down to where these Sundays become a venting session, because we wanted this to be the show you guys came to have fun on Sunday nights and have a good time and, laugh and have some fun comments. You can still do that. We're not stopping you. It's just that this team has really made it really hard for us to be our happy, upbeat, way to go selves talking baseball every week. And I
can't David Bell it. I'm sorry. I can't.
No.
I can't David Bell it. I can't put a positive spin. As we say in the football world, I can't shine a turd. So
I'm with you. We're gonna talk about those turds later. I mean,
turds are. It's brutal.
Yeah. So to answer, no, we are not taking the blame. It is not our fault.
Not our fault.
It's the other guy's
Nope. Trauma bombing. Mr. Juan, you are correct.
All right, man. Let's
Can
talk
I
about
crawl it?
kind of crawling. That's very funny. That's very funny. I forgot you don't have access to the chat too. So this is nice. You can do the same thing I can now. I'm glad we did that before I went on vacation. I'm glad I figured out how to make that happen. All right, dude. This one sucks. This is a bummer. So, and we've seen it pop up a couple times in the chat already today. So Noelvi Marte, since his return from suspension, has stunk.
Yeah.
Stunk. Yep. So 29 games this return, 101 at bats. His OPS is 487. Mind you, remember his return game against St. Louis on the road. He had 3 hits in that game.
Yep. Yeah.
2 homers, 9 RBIs, 36 strikeouts, 4 walks, 4 stolen bases.
Yep.
And obviously, I know you want to have the young guys. Maybe this season just doesn't matter at this point anymore because we know who they are, where this team's at. But just kind of seeing what's going on. Somehow they're still in like some competitive wild card run. They're only 6.5 out of the wild card.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot at this point, but they're still technically not eliminated. But does Noelvi? Maybe it's just all the stuff that he's gone through. Maybe it's just all the stuff that the season's just been really difficult. Do they just take advantage of an option because he's not helping the team at all right now? And I hate to say it, but he's really not.
No, I mean, and Sydney, I'm looking at Sydney's comment. She makes a great point. Who do they call up? Like I don't think that Noelvi Marte is deserving of being on the big league roster. I do think it would help him to get some minor league at bats, work out some kinks, do some things. But who will they call up that would be better than him or benefit what we're trying to do and getting a wild card and do all that other stuff? Like, I don't have an issue with sending him down. My issue is with trying to find an equivalent to him. But like you said too, are they seeing this season as still competitive, or are they seeing this season as let's get the guys some at bats, let's let him continue to work out the kinks, let him, I don't know where the Reds sit as far as how they're viewing the season. So if they see it as a loss, then yes, keep him up there, try to get him worked out. But if you're thinking that you're still going to be competitive, then you can't have a guy who's in this big of a slump taking at bats when now I don't know who else you're going to bring in to take those at bats, but you got to give him some time to work out some kinks and do some things down in the minors. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a change of scenery down there and doing some different things and working with some instructors and getting some more of that time down there may help him. Not sure though.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the Matt McLean news this week. Wow, words are hard, Tim. Certainly did not butter us up at all, but had a little bit of a setback. Awesome. Just maybe at this point, the hell with it. Just let Noelvi Marte play. Just let him see if he can get in a groove to gain some advantage. Go to the Winter League like you did last year. Kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from certain places, obviously. And then come back in spring training with a full head of steam. Like, great.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, do they see the season as a loss? Because if you do, then just let him work out his kinks. Like there's no reason to, I'm okay with him going down, but like if there's a legitimate reason for that or what they're going to do, I don't know what they're going to do. It's maddening. And by the way, Matt McLean needs to just stay out the rest of the year. I don't know what we're thinking with that and trying to bring him back or no, just sit.
No. What's the point? What's the point? Yeah. So you said this, and the questions come up a couple times, and Sydney kind of made a point to it. So where with what they did at the deadline, they still see it as competitive. This brings me to this. the front office failed us all, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kind of go ahead and talk about this, because first things first, I'm going to go back to this Nick Kroll interview he does during the broadcast with John and Barry Larkin, where they're like, did you guys, who you try to say they did a little bit of both. They did a little bit of buying, they did a little bit of selling. What the hell does that mean? The Reds front office is like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, right? Like the conversation they have is like everything's kind of in riddles. It's like, ooh, well, did we do this or did we do that? And how are we going to make this happen? And what do we do? It's like, give us a direct answer at some point. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to tell us your strategy. Just tell us a direct answer or something, a simple yes or no. We don't have to dance around anymore. We don't have to do this bullshit of like, we could have gone either direction, but we decided we were going to do both. And it's like, what the hell does that mean? And if you're buying, Joey Weimer is buying, getting Joey Weimer, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not just saying this because he went to UC and I hate UC. Joey Weimer is buying, guys. He's fine. He's probably a platoon guy, but this is the point I'm making is I am so sick of platoon guys. I'm so sick of like, well, in the right situation, Stuart Fairchild's really good. No, I'm so sick of these 4A players that we're looking at each and every freaking time this team plays. It's stupid. Like, I understand that there are teams who are successful with platoons. I respect the hell out of that. And the Reds have been successful with that in the past as well. Not going to deny that. I'm not, you've seen this. Like, but this is the part where it's like, we do this over and over and over again. And we have the same conversation over and over and over again. Well, it's like, well, we'll be fine, guys. Jake Fraley's going to find his power stroke and we got a right-handed bat with him. Like, no, enough of this. All right. Like, enough of it. And I'm not trying to compare the Reds to other teams. Like, no, I know the Reds are not the Yankees. The Yankees are not out there like, let's platoon Giancarlo Stanton with this guy. No, they're like, dude, I know you're struggling. You're Giancarlo Stanton. You've won an MVP. When you're on the field, you'll figure it out. If you don't, we at least tried with you. Here it's like, we just got to make sure like we have Will Benson getting 4,000 at-bats where he's getting his head kicked in, just swinging away at everything. But when he's not playing, check this out. When he's not playing, we got Austin Slater. Yeah. Like, who is looking at this and is like, cool. Yeah. All right. I think this is the way to run a baseball team. Like, I think this is the way to be successful. Like, no one should be looking at this and feeling good about anything here.
Yep.
And then not to mention the other part, and Ben talked about this a couple weeks ago, my last show before I went on vacation. Mr. Juan just made the comment in the chat. I understand that David Bell is not getting the horses to go out there and compete every single day. But Jesus Christ, can you like not bat Ty France cleanup? Can you not? Can you not? Like, dude, like Ty France had a really good career in Seattle for a long time, was an all-star a couple years ago. Respected, completely respected, but has been pretty atrocious for quite some time now.
You
look at, everyone's like, well, Stuart Fairchild against lefties, man, he's so great and it's so awesome. Like, hasn't been good against lefties for a while. I know he hit a homer yesterday, but like sick of that conversation too. I'm so sick of this. Like, and then you see like these chats and these conversations about like, well, they definitely need an outfield overhaul. Our friends at Locked On just had a great conversation about this on their show this week. And yeah, I agree. They need a total outfield overhaul. But it's like, then you go and see the comments and people are like, well, I'd really love to bring Jesse Winker back. Like, no, we have to stop doing this.
Yep.
God, like I'm so tired of like bringing the lefty and then the righty and we'll be just fine and we'll keep doing this and sometime it's going to work. Like, it's not going to work, guys. No. It's not going to work. Go get your Anthony Santanders. And if you got to overpay for him, whatever. Guess what? He's a switch hitter. He takes care of both problems. And he was an all-star. So maybe you're going to have to overpay for him. But guess what? Hitters should want to play at Great American Ballpark because you get 81 games in that stadium. And you know what they do, Ben? They go in there like, well, we'll get Mike Ford. I understand he's been gone a while. It just baffles me that guy was hitting third after like not accepting an outright assignment. And they were like,
hey, you know what Mike Ford's doing right now?
playing in Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, and they pulled the Chicago Bulls with a lot of their trades this week. Like, we got the Brewers straight for Montas. Like, we got Joey Weimer, and check this out. Cash considerations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, buddy, what did we learn from the great 90s hip-hop artists? Scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make no money.
I mean,
it's sure
so enough platoon bull crap. Go out there and make some moves. Try to win, because look, you've got the front end ace. You've got the guy. Like, every fifth day, he's giving you a chance to win, and you can feel confident with him. Yep. You've got the all-star in the infield. You've got the dude. Like, the dude who has MVP written all over him.
Yep.
And you can sprinkle in this other young talent that everyone's confident in. I mean, Tyler Stevenson, we're going to talk about him in a little bit, just how great he's been since he came back from his baby being born. And we all believe in Matt McClain. Like, I don't know if we're just overlooking it, but he was their best player last year. And I believe that is a lot of who he is. I don't think that when he ever does get to play baseball again, that we're going to see this, like, actually we might see a regression because he hasn't played in, 10 years.
Right.
He hasn't played since The Empire Strikes Back was in theaters, but we also still might see, like, that dude. And so I'm just at this point now. And, like, but just, like, what happens with CES? Like, if he's here, does he get better? Because he looked terrible before he got hurt.
Yeah.
TJ Friedel has been in and out and in and out and in and out with injuries. So I fully believe that I think he deserves a shot to see if he can prove to be healthy next year. Yeah. But, dude, we have to, like, fix this shit, because
the worst thing that could have happened to the Reds is that them have success with being mediocre last year. That was the absolute worst.
You're absolutely right.
We brought up those young guys. We brought up Ellie and Matt McClain, and they brought a spark, and India started playing better. And then we got CES, who was hitting the ball at the end of the year, and Noelvi Marte, and we're like, yeah, we got all these young studs. We're like, yeah, that's great. Let's put nothing behind them. All right. So it made our front office lazy.
Lazier.
So then lazier. Good point. But it made them lazy because of the success that we had the year before. So then they were like, okay, well, if we just sprinkle Ace here, and we could get by with Will Benson in the outfield. Oh, and then we can move Spencer Steer out there. So, yeah, we can sprinkle that there. And then we'll bring in a Candelario. Oh, yeah, that'll be it. Like, so then they try to, like, mix and match, and then try to mix and match being cheap and not spending money. So you're like, we got these young studs, but we don't want to spend any money to put good talent around them. Oh, and by the way, let's get rid of the one veteran leader that we had, because we don't want to have any at-bats for him. So it's like it was just really bad, and that was the worst thing that could have happened to us, is for us to have success bringing up those young guys. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because of course we loved Ellie, we loved Matt McClain, but it made our front office rest on their laurels, and they just said, okay, well, if we just sprinkle guys here and there, no, you've got to go get good veteran bats, you got to go get good veteran guys. And you got to put some money around these other guys you've got. You can't just sprinkle in guys here, platoon guys there. It just ain't going to work. We've tried this. What's the definition of insanity, Tim? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And that's what they're doing. They're just banging their head on the wall.
Yeah. I think, like,
to your point.
Yeah. That was, like, I don't know who cooked more there, me or you, but it was a fun segment, and so I was really glad we both got our feelings out there. It's the beauty of podcasting.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I am just naive in the sense that I'm always waiting for another 2012 offseason. That's probably just never going to happen. I just have to, like, accept it. There's not going to be some major trade for a pitcher as potential ace, and we're not talking about who he became as a person, but, bro, he was pretty damn good in some stretches during his tenure with the Reds. Going and signed the Ryan Ludwigs, who were awesome for this team. Had some goofy times for sure, but, realistically, we're awesome for this team. Had a young core that they went and spent money to get better. Why is that such a stupid, like, difficult thing? I don't know. I mean, they kind of did do some dumb things with that team, don't get me wrong. But, like, they go and, and then, like, the 2019 offseason. They go trade for Puig, and it's like, awesome. This is cool. Yeah, I like this. And that's a nightmare. They quick turnaround. They realize it doesn't work out, and they do something about it. And say what you will about another god-awful human being going to being a starting pitch for the Reds who was successful. 2020, they're like, all right, cool, let's go for it. Didn't work out. And it seems like since then they've been like, we're not gonna take that chance again. And that's what's so irritating, Ben, is the sense that like we love sports.
Yep.
We love like all this stuff. We love teams. Look, I talk about it all the time. You root for the Pacers. The Pacers are the perfect, like, we signed this guy. We signed Jan Mahimi. It didn't work out. All right. It sucks, but we tried for it. He looked really good. So we moved on, moved the asset, and got better. The Reds, it's like, well, we took a chance. We're not doing it again.
Yep.
And it's like, it's so stupid. Like, when the Mets signed Jason Bay, and Jason Bay was atrocious, they weren't like, we're never signing a guy ever again. They were just like, okay, let's move off from Jason Bay and get better. Like, I don't understand this whole, like, every team has bad off seasons. Every team makes bad signings. But the Reds are like continuously just scraping the barrel for these like guys that you just know aren't going to, like, when they signed Frankie Montas, you and I, we had this conversation on the show and we said like, okay, I think he was a risk worth taking. First couple starts were like, oh, okay, this is great. But we'd found out pretty quickly why he was available so late and why it was a 1-year contract. And, and, you know, like, I don't fault them for Emilio Pagan being hurt, even though he wasn't very good when he was healthy. I don't fault them for, you know, a lot of the guys they picked up for the bullpen. Just shit happens. Nick Martinez has been very up and down. Obviously, we know where he's much better and where he's not much better, and where he's not much better, he so happened to take the hill tomorrow. All right. The point of this week's episode, folks, is scared money don't make no money. So stop being scared. Give us something to where we can be happy. All right. Like, no, I know on our live show that I said I want you to trade for Jazz Chisholm. I knew that was never going to happen. But guess what? I just want something where it's like you can build a competitive bet. All right. Kansas City Royals are really good right now, right? Like, really, really good. Bobby Witt Jr. is that dude. Like, he's legit. They made some moves to get better this offseason. They're competitive. They're in the playoff hunt. Did they go get some super awesome ace, superstar, legend, Hall of Fame? No, they just got really good players. Like, and the Reds just don't go get really good players. And I think that's what I'm pissed off about.
So I wonder if that goes down to like your scouting department. Because obviously I don't think Nick Kroll is going out and scouting people. Somebody is telling him,
oh, God.
Oh, yeah,
can you imagine him writing up a scouting report? Well, he does this really well, and then he doesn't do this, but he does occasionally do this, and sometimes he'll do this. It's like, I wouldn't want to read that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would assume that somebody in the scouting department says, yeah, this guy's worth getting. Like, I wouldn't assume that Nick Kroll was like, oh, yeah, Ty France. Yeah, that's the dude. That's who we need to get.
That's kind of a really good point. This is actually a really good point. Yeah. Kerry says DB played Daddy last year to love the newborns. Daddy doesn't work with the teenagers this year. I agree with that. That's actually a really good point.
Good point. It sure is.
City's like, I know he was a Red Scout. He was also like, I always love when they're like, he was a part of the A's for Moneyball. It's like, yeah, I know. I get it. But he did not trade for.
How's that for? Yeah, I was going to say, how's that franchise doing?
Yeah.
Oof.
All right. So, did we get it all out? Can we move on? Do we need to talk about any more of this? Because I can do this all day.
I was going to say, I think we could run the rest of the show going over the debacle of this roster and the lineup. And I mean, remember, Ty France batted cleanup for us. So
Mike Ford was hitting third at one point this year. Ty France is batting fourth.
Yeah. So I mean, we could do this all day.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some good stuff.
Yeah. By the way, there's so many like great comments in the chat about this that we just like in that whole event we had. By the way, hi Seth. I'm glad to see you're here. But I can't get them all. Carrie says, will Will Benson return from baby break with daddy power? I hope so. I hope that Tyler Stevenson brings that on him because that dude needs it. Speaking of Tyler Stevenson, bro,
Yeah.
So I make one comment about this guy on a show a month ago, right? Where I've been like his biggest fan forever.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he like is like, I make one comment about like, maybe he's just not the guy I thought he was. And he was like, nah, dude, allow me to reintroduce myself.
Yeah,
And
he's legit.
so last 30 games, 834 OPS, 7 homers, 18 RBI, 11 walks, 17 runs. That is all-star stuff right there, people.
Absolutely.
I think the fact that he's just kind of like, he's 1 homer away from his career high, which is pretty awesome. I think he had some stretches where he was really, really awesome. We've talked about it all year. His baseball savant page is very pretty.
Yeah.
But man, just a stretch and like, hey man, we get it. We're girl dads. We know.
Absolutely. No doubt.
When you have a baby girl,
it
changes everything. Yeah, it changes everything.
Yep.
Your life is so much better from the moment you get to hold her. And dude, like, so like having that pip in your step, like, I'm with you, T. Steve. Keep making us girl dads proud. Do your thing, my guy.
Absolutely.
This is kind of the guy that you expected. This is the guy that was the first round pick. This is the guy that you're looking at being a potential cornerstone if your team decides to be good one day. And I don't know, your front office decides to put guys around their good players. I don't know, kind of a crazy thing. Also, is the guy that wants to be here.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. I don't know why, but you say with Jonathan India. Shout out Jonathan India, just like wanting to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, I've been really happy to see this from him. And what do you think?
Well, I mean, for me, it's been cool because that's what we've talked about, right? I mean, he's a guy that we know that has that kind of ability. And it's just cool to see. Like, once he's healthy, he's a very good baseball player.
Yeah.
And he's done some really good things at the plate. He's done some really good things behind the plate. I mean, I thought that his defense has improved and he's playing at the level that we expected him to play.
Yeah.
And so to see him healthy, to see him do the things that we know that he was able to do, albeit for a not very good baseball team, he has been one of the bright spots in that lineup, and he's been one of the bright spots for the team. The way that he has been able to play.
I completely agree. City says he's a catcher, not a first baseman. No more 3 catcher experiment. Old friend Kirk Casale had some fun in Cincinnati this weekend, didn't he? Yeah. So, Carrie says, what do they do with the hole in the rotation now? Your guess is as good as ours.
Yeah, I mean, like we've said, I mean, I think we've hammered it home. I don't know if the Reds know what they're going to do. Like, we can guesstimate and look at some things and look at possible moves or bringing people up or doing whatever. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure if they know.
They don't
what they're going to do. So
they don't.
If I had to guess, they'll bring somebody up or they'll move somebody up from AAA because you can't do reliever starts for the rest of the year. So they'll bring somebody up at some point. Not sure who that is, though.
The trade deadline just showed me the Reds are that student who, like, the assignment's due tomorrow, and they were like, just real quickly went on Spike's Cliff Notes. Is Cliff Notes still a thing? You work in schools.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But AI is better. So
yeah, they typed in an AI name generator, and they're like, let's trade for this guy. Who's available? Yeah, that's they were the guys who like real quickly did the assignment to turn it in time and not get a failing grade. That's what they did.
Yeah, they used ChatGPT for sure.
Yeah, someone just told me about that recently, actually. Because I was
dude, it's legit.
I was like, I feel like because when I cover games, it's like I feel like I just have a really dumb post game articles. I feel like my post game articles stink. And
dude, ChatGPT will get you right for sure.
Oh man! All right, so now we'll go ahead and close it up here. So the last thing we have to we go to Miami, party in the city where the heat is on. Shout out Will Smith for a 4-game set with the Fish, who traded everybody.
Yep,
literally traded. I think they traded everybody. When you're on a boat during the trade deadline, by the way, and like you can't check anything because you don't pay for the nice Wi-Fi. and you come back and you're like, oh, Jack Chisholm plays for the Yankees.
Yep. Yep.
It's like, oh, I missed a lot. Tommy
missed a
Pham's back
lot.
with the Cardinals. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm looking at today at the lineup that they put out, and I couldn't pick out half these guys from Police Line. So Xavier Edwards, Jake Berger, I know him obviously. They've got Jonah Bride. I remember that name. This is like Jesus Sanchez, obviously. Kristen Pache was in there. I couldn't tell you 90% of the guys in this team, so I don't feel confident saying that this is going to go fine this weekend, even though it should. This weekend, even though it should. So
Yeah,
tomorrow,
it should.
Nick Martinez versus Rodri Munoz. Tuesday was Nick Lodolo's turn of the rotation. Did I miss something? Because on the MLB thing, it says that it's TBA, but normally it's his turn in the rotation. So did he like get a blister again? And I don't remember, but I don't know. I guess we'll all find out together. Wednesday, you get Andrew Abbott versus Valente Belazzo. I mean, hold on to your Valente Belazzo rookie cards, folks. And then Thursday, you get the man, the myth, the legend, Hunter Green, and against TBA, which I feel like just the Marlins are TBA. I feel like it's just like, I don't know.
100%.
We might get a call to go play for the Marlins this week.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
Yeah. They're like, hey, we saw you guys do this podcast. Do you want to go play outfield? You guys play the corners?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Very slow relays.
Yeah. No different than the Reds.
Yeah, no different. Yeah, I was going to say very slow relays.
I just want I would tell them that I would do it if they could bring back that ridiculous statue in center field.
Oh, wow. They may be down for that.
Yeah.
They're going to need something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot to draw. I mean, besides the fact that it's Miami, but there's not a lot to draw people to play for the Marlins.
No.
They may need that statue.
So I'll never forget when they officially made the switch to Miami, and they went and had the huge offseason. You remember they signed like Jose Reyes. They brought all those dudes in.
Yeah.
They switched to uniform colors. Those uniform colors were sick, by the way.
Yep.
And you remember they had a show on Showtime. It was supposed to be like baseball's Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And it got canceled in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I remember that.
They were like,
absolutely.
No. Because actually, that was the Reds' opening day opponent that season.
Oh, yeah.
The Marlins had a game before they went to Cincinnati. They had like a one-gamer to open their stadium.
Yep.
Wow. What time to turn back the clock there? But there was like, who was it? That was Giancarlo Stanton. Logan Morrison was on that team. Jose Reyes. Man, they were stacked.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't win. And
win.
I think Jose Reyes got traded in the middle of the year, if I remember correctly. It was just a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a debacle.
I think that we should really kind of think about the way the Marlins do business is terrible. Like I would never want to play for them. But that was kind of dope, the 97 team. They were like, hey, congrats on your World Series. You got traded. Hey, everyone, the whole team got traded.
They got rid of everybody.
It was like the 99 Bulls where it's like, all right, it's ring night.
And all them dudes are coming from different.
Tony Kukoc is the only guy on the roster for 98.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Look, we've had some of those years. I guess we can't really say too much. So Sydney's saying that Lodolo may be going back to the IL because he's having issues with the blister. Shut it down. Just let's all call it a day. Let's kind of get through this, and only a month left of the season. Shaquille O'Neal's going to do a concert at the stadium and at the end of the month.
DJ Diesel.
Yeah. I don't know what this like. You got the Marlins, the Brewers. August is okay, I guess, but I don't know. So yeah, after the Giants series, you got the Marlins for 4, and you go to Milwaukee. come home for St. Louis and Kansas City.
Yep.
Great.
Blue Jays.
Yeah. Yeah. City said Green Day. I'm going to that Green Day concert, actually. I'm pretty excited. You got 4 with the Pirates. Okay. Yeah, the A's coming to town. Does anyone know why that Thursday game against the A's is a 5:10 first pitch? I don't know. Is there something going on downtown that day?
Ooh,
anyway.
I don't know.
And then you got the Brewers and Astros. That's not fun. The Mets, the makeup game with the Braves, the Cardinals, the Twins. That's a road trip. All right. Well, hey, guys, it's been a year. Sydney said there's something going on that day downtown. The Bengals aren't. No, that's too early. Is that a preseason football game?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, it's a Thomas Rhett concert. I forgot about that. I don't know. I think you and I were the only people in the city of Cincinnati that weren't at the Luke Combs concert.
Nope. Yeah, I missed that one.
I'll also tell you this. I cannot tell you one Luke Combs song.
I will say this. I will listen to some Luke Combs.
Okay. Yeah.
I do like some Luke Combs. Like I will get down with some Luke Combs.
I couldn't tell you a thing he said.
Long neck ice cold beer.
I know he did a cover of Fast Car, and Tracy Chapman did it with him at a award show, and that was dope.
Fast Car.
But
Wild Things Are.
Not a clue, buddy. Modern music is not my specialty. Hey, we got like 8 minutes left in the show. Does anyone want to throw anything at us we want to talk about before we get out of here? Did you acknowledge your tribal chief last night? Yeah, I did.
I absolutely did.
What a pop. That was awesome.
It was. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a miserable weekend. Thomas Rhett, the doubleheader against the Brewers, and Shaq all in the stadium. Is that week 1 or week 0 of college football?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Also, why is it called week 0? It's just week 1. Let's just call it what it is.
Because they have to be difficult.
Of course,
do that in high school too. In high school, we have a week 0. I'm like, why are we calling it week 0?
Sydney says it's week 1. So, all right. We'll cut the show early, but if anyone has any questions you want to throw at us, please do. Going once, going twice. Seth says I have several Gunnar Henderson rookie cards. Congratulations. I'm very happy for you, buddy. Catch those in. Hey, Seth, Red Leg Roundtable. Just had Cam Miller on. It was a fun episode. You should check it out if you haven't already. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this up because soon me and Ben will be rambling about, I don't know, Penn Station, East Coast subs.
Yeah.
But Mr. One, medical staff change? Sure. I guess, yeah, I'm for it if it just means that like they'll keep guys on the field because I think the Reds seem to have a lot of struggles with that. And also the conversation that they have of like, well, he's fine. It's like, oh, actually, he lost a thumb the other day. What's the thing the other day where like I posted on the Late Night Reds account. Shout out to anyone who understood this joke, but they were like talking about Matt McClain, and then David Bell was like, yeah, he's okay. He's just kind of telling him to take it easy. And I was like, next week it'll be like, Matt McClain died of dysentery.
Right. Yep.
I hope not.
Yeah. It's always something weird like that. Like Matt McClain setback, rib dislocation. You're like, why wouldn't you just like
just tell us?
Just tell us.
Yeah.
Just tell us. Stop being secretive.
Yeah. I know, man. Like, or like, hey, we got to do further tests to find the answer. Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Just don't be like, he's okay. And the next thing you know, it's like, he has to lose his toe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up this week. It's an episode of Late Night Reds. I am so sorry, guys, that we were very, very frustrated and let it all out this week. Unless you guys enjoyed it, then I'm not sorry because I very much enjoyed venting. I know Ben did too.
I do. Absolutely.
I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us as always each and every Sunday night. We definitely appreciate it. Always. Be sure to check out all of our shows coming on. I don't know. Welcome to the Jungle. Parker and Joe, maybe they have some fun stuff to talk about because the Bengals have preseason football this week. Do we get excited about preseason football? I don't know. Was that a thing? Do people care?
Probably not.
No. But I heard Joe Burrow's actually going to play preseason. That kind of makes me happy.
I did see that. Hopefully it's only one series.
Yeah, like something. Yeah, I'm with you.
Right.
Be sure to check us out over at Riverfront U. Some good projects coming up. I know right now, really, the thing that's only been on there's the NBA Happy Hour, but I know Sean and I have really enjoyed breaking down Team USA basketball because they're awesome. And that's been a lot of fun as well. Hope everyone's enjoying the Olympics, by the way. I've had a blast. My wife and I watching everything nightly.
Yeah, dude. The Olympics is legit.
Would you rather be Simone Biles or Katie Ledecky if you had a choice?
Oh gosh.
Hard-hitting questions right here, folks. And
gosh dang. You know what? That's a good one. I would have to go. I'd have to go Katie Ledecky.
Okay.
For no other reason than like I just not saying that Simone Biles isn't impressive, but
she's very impressive.
You know, I don't want to slight. I don't want to slight her, but
there's no slighting. There's no slighting. They're both goats.
Yeah, they're both definitely goats.
Yeah,
it's the hardest I've ever cheered for somebody in a swimming pool.
Dude, same. I was like watching with Grace the other night. Was it the one she said that she tied the record for gold medal?
800, yeah, the 800.
And I'm like sitting there at the edge of like my bed, like, come on, we got this. Let's go. And I'm like, who am I?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I cheer so hard. Yeah, it was like today we were watching beach volleyball, dude. And I'm not even at my house, and I'm like, let's go. I'm like, what am I doing?
I love the Olympics, man. I don't care. It's awesome. It's a joy. Yeah. I hope everyone's enjoying them as well. On behalf of Ben Brown and myself, this is Tim Daniel. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good week, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
See you guys.